Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together, as always, live from Facebook, as always, at 10:30 in the morning, Mondays through Saturdays. Today is Tuesday, March 11th. We're getting close to spring, and I'm happy to see you this morning. It is great to read your good mornings, and we'll get to those in a second. Today, we have a little bit of everything. We have news, we have funny news, we have announcements. We even went on a quest. We went on a quest for park benches, and I'll explain that in a second. And we have audience participation scheduled for today. So grab your favorite beverage and let's get started with our broadcast. As always, we get started with the news. Oh, I'm seeing interesting comments. We'll get to the comments in a second, but this is great news. Work has begun to build the overpass and road interchange at the Las Juntas Intersection, which is necessary to streamline and expedite vehicular movement between Puerto Vallarta and Bahía de Banderas. I believe this will be our first two-story overpass in the city. The governor of Jalisco, Pablo Lemus Navarro, announced the start of the work as a project that his administration committed to carry out. It is worth mentioning that this work was a campaign promise by Mayor Munguia, who went to request it and manage it with the state executive. The work will last just over a year, so that in the first part of 2026, the work will be fully delivered. And of course, it will revolutionize mobility in the city. But between now and then, we've been announcing this over and over again. If you need to travel through that general area, if you need to get somewhere on a set schedule, and remember, the airport and the bus terminal are not far from that intersection, please be mindful of travel times, because you can run into unexpected traffic. And we have more good news. Mayor Luis Munguia also authorized the rehabilitation of the Malecón, with works such as the renewal of curbs, wash, seal, and the installation of benches. And this is with the goal of making it a more attractive space for visitors. The rehabilitation of curbs and washed seal will help keep the area clean and safe, while the installation of prefabricated staple benches will provide a comfortable space for visitors to rest and enjoy the surroundings. This is good news. And this one, when I saw this headline from Banderas News, I just had to laugh. Puerto Vallarta to launch a new garbage collection strategy. Then I had to check on the publishing date, and indeed, it was published this morning. Puerto Vallarta's municipal government is set to announce major improvements in garbage collection logistics by mid-March. The initiative, led by the Director of Efficient Municipal Services, Javier Alonso Navarro, claims to enhance efficiency and address ongoing collection concerns. Now, I ask myself, didn't we just do this a couple of months ago? And of course we did. And I suppose as long as they're continuing to improve the process and the strategy, I say bring on all the improvements that they want. Yesterday, my trash was not collected early in the morning. They arrived rather late. I don't know what that means. How is trash collection going on in your neighborhoods? Write it down in a comment so we can see where the situations are working and where they are not. Now, This next one has very little to do with Puerto Vallarta, but it just made me laugh. I had to include it. Imagine that you've just dropped off your super fabulous Ford Bronco truck at a Ford dealership. It's going to be repaired, it's going to be maintained, it's going to cost you 57,000 pesos, but excuse me, it's Ford, it's going to be well taken care of. This actually happened in Guadalajara. Imagine that you just dropped off your truck and late at night, you decide to, go look at your GPS chingadera and you realize that your truck is not at the dealership. It is somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So you decide to go to the address where your truck seems to be parked, and there it is in the middle of somewhere where there's a big party going on, and some kid, which you can see here on the image, who is clearly a Ford employee, has decided to take your truck for a spin. So the owner of the truck confronted the kid, and the kid quickly denied it. He's like, well, no, this is not your truck, but he got all nervous. Long story short, the kid got busted, and he was just driving around with a vehicle that was not his. Of course, Ford Motor Company immediately wrote a disclaimer and says, well, this is so irregular, it doesn't happen. And we have taken all the necessary measures so that this doesn't happen again. Regardless, I say this qualifies for a tomala. I certainly hope that the owner of this vehicle got his repair taken care of for free. Or better yet, I hope he was given a new vehicle. That's just embarrassing. Tómala. Okay, I thought it was funny. I hope you reacted. I haven't looked at your comments, but ouch. Who can you trust? The weather. Oh, speaking of who can you trust, this is snarky. If you thought regular tariffs were fun, wait until you try enthusiastic double tariffs. All fun aside, no, I'm not going to touch this. I'm just thinking of people I care about. That's all I'm going to say. It's 22 degrees out there. What a crazy world we're living. 22 degrees, humidity is at 64%. Our weather forecast indicates that we're going to have clear skies today with a high of 26 and a low of 13. Tomorrow, clear skies throughout the day with a high of 27 and a low of 14. And then Thursday, humid with clear skies throughout the day with a high of 28 and a low of 15. So it's getting slightly warmer, but the mornings are still chilly, and we love that. Now, before we continue on with the rest of our scheduled programming, let me put this on the screen because yesterday I invited you to play along with me. We haven't done this in a while. Maybe there are people watching that have not been with us for a long time. We like to keep track of these items that you have to, well, you don't have to, but these are rite of passages. Rites of passage. That's what I'm trying to say. You cannot call yourself a Puerto Vallarta English-speaking local until you have blank. Please feel free to write your favorite rite of passage that you have to go through or enjoy or sometimes undergo and withstand before you can consider yourself a bona fide English-speaking local. I'm always amused at your creations and your imagination, so let's see what you come up with this time. And also, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the second half, we have a walking tour. I actually went on a walk. Yay. But before we go there, just a quick reminder. Tomorrow, I'm going to sit down with Angela Kelleher to talk about Hands on Vallarta, our upcoming volunteer fair. And tomorrow, I'm also going to sit down with Diana Francis of Leave It to Cleavage, who is in town to teach an improv workshop and participate in a special performance with Guda Gabor. I don't know the details of these, but I'm looking forward to finding out tomorrow when we record our interviews at the joint. As always, 4 o'clock, if you wish to stop by and say hello, you're always welcome to do so. Now, while you're thinking of interesting things to that English speaking locals should do to call ourselves English speaking locals, a little bit of a glimpse into my weekend. It was Sunday, and I was feeling like I want to walk somewhere. And I didn't know exactly where to walk. And a lot of times when I don't have a specific goal or aim, I like to look at Google Maps to see if I find something in the terrain that catches my attention. At the same time, I've been thinking to myself a couple of things. Number one, it's going to get warm very quickly, very soon. So we will not be enjoying the outdoors here in Puerto Vallarta as much as we do during the cooler months. And number two, and this must be showing my age, I don't care. I like sitting on park benches. I don't do it a lot here in town, but when I travel to Guadalajara or other places, if you find me a nice bench in a nice plaza where I can people watch, I just love doing that. So I thought to myself, well, where are the park benches near my home? And I actually found this little park that seemed to be within walking distance to my house, and it has a bandstand, and it has soccer fields and a basketball court and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, how come I've never been here? It's not far from my house. I have to go and find it. So I decided to do that. And this is exactly what I did yesterday, right after the broadcast. And I want to show you just part of the walk. I'm going to spare you the getting there and let you know that the walk can be found this afternoon complete in YouTube. It is like almost 40 minutes long, but I finally found my way to this park in this very Mexican colonia called Barrio Santa Maria that I don't know very well, but what can I tell you? I wanted to find a park. That was my goal. And it's less than 15 minutes from my house, yes. So much for not having a goal. I decided I want to see if this park has benches, and maybe next time I'll bring my audiobook, and maybe the next time I'll bring my crochet, and I'll do this before the warm weather comes back. One side of the block had these cute little apartment buildings, and it was quiet. Oh, so quiet. And of course, I didn't expect lush greenery. It's been dry. This time of year, parks start looking a little shabby. But I saw some people hanging out. This was yesterday, right after the broadcast. And yes, the first thing that I saw was a nice lady sitting on a bench in the shade. I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to stay to keep her company. But I could be sitting on that bench on a weekend, just looking at people enjoying the surroundings. Yes, that makes me a simple man. I don't care. And yes, I wonder if the soccer field gets used. I certainly hope it does. Is that what you call them, chainsaw? Can you hear that? I figured there's somebody pruning, and little did I know, a whole crew of city workers were giving the trees a good pruning and some maintenance. And lots of park benches. What is it about the benches? Oh, I don't know. I just like them. Do you ever wonder if there are green areas close to where you live? Do you have them identified? I'd love to know in your comments if you have any. It was nice to see all these workers enjoying what they were doing, or at least they were doing their work in good spirits. And the park, the area was completely residential. It makes me hope for a place. Well, I love where I live, but how nice it must be to just step out of your home and enjoy some greenery. And by now you may be wondering, I'm not even looking at your comments. Where is this? Where is this? This is in Barrio Santa Maria. And of course, when you watch the entire walk, you can see the path between my home and the park. Then I show you a couple of landmarks. Then we come back to where I live on a different road, just for the sake of variety. And once again, this entire walk will be available this afternoon in the YouTube channel. So let's see. That was just a little tease of my walk. Where are we? Where are we? What's next? Oh, we might as well look at this. And then we will take a look at your comments.
Are you looking to give back but not sure where to start? Hands on Vallarta is your chance to meet local nonprofits and find the perfect volunteer opportunity just for you. Join us Saturday, March 22nd from 12 to 3 p.m. at Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. It's free. And if you're an organization looking for volunteers, we'd love to have you. Just scan the QR code to learn more, and let's make a difference together.
Okay, let's see what we have in your comments. Good mornings and a good afternoon. Is it the time must have changed? It's good afternoon in the Boston area. Hello, David. It's always great to read you. It's always great to read all of you that watch regularly. And I'm always humbled by the fact that you keep coming back. That is so wonderful. It really is. Liz says, enjoying sunshine in Orilla, I imagine that's Ontario. And dreaming of being in Puerto Vallarta for the Jazz Festival at Cuates y Cuetes. It's coming up, isn't it? They always have a spring jazz festival, and it's very well attended by a bunch of people. Let's see. Bless Mayor Munguia and his penchant for cosplay photos. Oh, yes, he does. He loves sitting in big toys, and he loves dressing up for the occasion. He likes his promo photos. That's all I'm going to say. Oh my goodness. No, that was just naughty. I'm not going to go there. Never mind. Let's see. Will this schedule be available to visitors? This schedule. What schedule? Oh my goodness. That's my pothead brain. Laura, I'm sorry. I'm reading your comment at not in sync with what we're talking about. So I'm not sure that I know what schedule we are talking about. Please help me out and I'll be happy to answer your question. Let's see what else. Maria comments from Valentin Gomez Farias. Oh my God, that's not far from where I live. The garbage got picked up on time yesterday morning. That's great because that's just one colonia next to mine. In fact, in this preview of a walk we just looked at, we're going to walk through my colonia, which is La Vena. We're going to walk through Valentin Gomez Farias, and we're going to walk through Barrio Santa Maria. These are three colonias that are connected. They're just like next to one another, and their proximity to places like Versalles and Francisco Villa lead me to think that in just a few years, these colonias will start to look differently. And I hope they continue to evolve respectfully, keeping prices reasonable, but that is what we're talking about. Is there a problem today with viewing messages like the ones you post only seeing a select few? I don't know, Laura. I'm not entirely sure if there are problems with messages. If you're talking about comments and things like that, that is addressed by Facebook, not by me. Um, let's see. You're not an English speaking local until you have taken the bus. I love it. Laura, I like that. Until you've joined coffee and headlines. Oh, what a nice thought. I love it. You're not an English speaking local until you have listened to and enjoyed Paco Ojeda Coffee and Headlines. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. You're not a local until you play Loteria with a family at the normal Mexican speed, a new card every 15 seconds. Oh my goodness, I haven't played fast paced Loteria in forever. Logan, oh my goodness, that's why you are such a good friend of mine, because great minds think alike. You're not an English speaking local until you treat yourself to a weekend away to one of our surrounding small towns, from Lo de Marcos, Maito, El Tuito, San Sebastian, you name it. And this is so true. We have great towns near Puerto Vallarta, some of which are higher in altitude. So when it starts getting warm in the spring and summer, it's great to get away. Vicky adds, you are not an English speaking local until you trip while looking up for danger, or clunk your head on a pipe or low wall while looking down so you don't trip. Oh my God, that was convoluted, but so true. When I'm walking with my camera, I'm always fearing that because I'm holding my camera and I'm looking ahead, I'm not looking down, I'm looking through the viewfinder and this, that, and the other. One of these days, I know I'm going to trip and it's not going to be pretty. It's inevitable, but we knock on wood. Let's see. Looks like a nice family park. It seemed like a nice family park, Sherry. And I almost wish I had gone Sunday, not yesterday, because Sunday is when, people are out enjoying the outdoors. So I'm going to go check. Liz says, you're not an English speaking local until you volunteered with a local service group. Oh, yes. And that's exactly what Hands on Vallarta is going to be all about. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Patrick says, greetings from Cinco de Diciembre. Finally have my full-time apartment again. Congratulations, Patrick. That is absolutely wonderful. It's nice to have a full-time apartment. I see that happening to a lot of people, or some people that visit and they start visiting longer, and all of a sudden they get an apartment, and then they figure, well, even if I'm gone for 6 months, it makes much more sense to keep it throughout the year. And if that is your case, I'm glad you have a new apartment. And with that said, I think this is a good time to stop. I'll be working. Oh, here's another one. You're not an English-speaking local till you've attended a lucha libre event and a rodeo. I drink to that. Yes, I love it. Or Betsy says, until you have adopted a homeless pet. Those are great thoughts. I love it. I'm going to write these down and add them to the list. And of course, I'm going to thank you for all your participation and inspiration. It means a lot to me. This afternoon, well, we'll have the show notes. And then this afternoon, I will be providing a link to the full, almost 40-minute long walk, and we'll include it on the show notes tomorrow as well, in case you want to discover Barrio Santa Maria, which is a neighborhood not far from me. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.